Sometimes the biggest home improvement victories don't come from expensive contractors or fancy equipment. They come from rolling up your sleeves, getting dirty, and building something with your own two hands. For me and for my husband, that victory came in the form of a DIY French drain system that we both installed on our side yard. And let me tell you, it was not an easy journey, but it was one of the most rewarding ones we've shared together. It all started with one problem: water pooling in the side yard every time it rained. We knew we needed a drainage solution, but instead of hiring someone, we thought, why not try to fix this ourselves? That decision led to one of the hardest, muddiest, but also most fulfilling projects that we've ever taken on. Our idea was simple: connect the two gutters on opposite sides of the house with a PVC culvert pipe and create a French drain system that would carry water safely away. The design called for about a foot wide trench, 100 feet in length, with a Y connector linking the gutters into the system. On paper, it seemed straightforward. In reality, well, we were in for quite a journey. We started digging a foot deep, inch by inch, through compact soil, roots, and hidden rocks. And we had just the two of us, some shovels, and a whole lot of determination and coffee. What we didn't expect was how much nature itself would dictate our schedule. The rain would pour down, filling our half-dug trench. The humidity made the soil heavy and sticky, impossible to manage. We had to pause, and some days just waiting for the ground to soften, and then again for it to dry enough so we could actually work with it. And then came the roots, stubborn, deep, crisscrossing roots from the trees that we had cut down a month ago, and from the root removal, and bushes that were just refusing to move for us. And that's when we discovered one of our greatest allies, a pruning blade. It was a pruning blade for a reciprocating saw, basically a 9-inch hacksaw that became our root cutting hero. Every time we cleared a root, it felt like unlocking the next level of a game. Hard work again, sweat again, a lot of frustration, but we did see progress. And once the trench was cleared, the real construction began. First, we laid out a weed control fabric to prevent vegetation from growing back into the drain. It's like a weed stopper. That step felt like setting the foundation of a house. It was the base for everything else. Then came the pipe, the culvert pipe, carefully laid into the place where we dug. And then we had perfectly aligned with the Y connector so both gutters could flow into it. Finally, we added gravel on top to hold it. And then creating the French drain effect. Every step was like piecing together a puzzle, only this puzzle was 100 feet long, at least, and buried underground. A week after we started, after sweat, sore muscles, pausing for rain, and countless trips to the hardware store, we finally finished after a week. And just like fate wanted to reward us, the sky opened up with rain that very same day we were finishing. And we stood there, a little nervous, wondering if all our hard work had actually paid off. And then we saw it. The water was finally flowing. effortlessly into the gutters and down through the pipes and out through our French drain system. No flooding, no pooling anymore, just smooth, perfect drainage. It was like watching a victory parade, only made of rainwater. In that moment, all the hard work felt worth it, more than just solving a problem. It was something that my husband had planned, and I just built it alongside with him, piece by piece, in our side yard. And we learned patience, persistence, and that sometimes the best way to face a challenge is to get dirty and keep going. No matter how stubborn the roots were, oh my gosh, or the weather. But the roots really was what got us, and where we really lost a lot of patience. The digging problem. The digging process. So if you're thinking about tackling a big DIY project like what me and my husband did, my advice is this: don't be afraid of the hard work. The mud will wash off of your feet and your hands and your face. The sore muscles will heal very slow, but we're still sore. Actually, it hasn't fully healed, but the pride of standing in the rain, watching your very own system work perfectly, that feeling lasts forever for sure. And that's our French drain journey. 1 week, 100 feet, one big lesson in teamwork and perseverance. Thanks for joining me on this little side yard adventure. Sometimes the biggest home improvement victories don't come from expensive contractors or fancy equipment. They come from rolling up your sleeves, getting dirty, and building something with your own two hands. For me and for my husband, that victory came in the form of a DIY French drain system that we both installed on our side yard. And let me tell you, it was not an easy journey, but it was one of the most rewarding ones we've shared together. It all started with one problem: water pooling in the side yard every time it rained. We knew we needed a drainage solution, but instead of hiring someone, we thought, why not try to fix this ourselves? That decision led to one of the hardest, muddiest, but also most fulfilling projects that we've ever taken